Hi friends, today we're cutting a little Bixie, which is basically a little bit longer than a pixie, but shorter and wispier than a bob. So I'm actually choosing to use my Jatai feather razor for this. I love it because the feather razor creates built-in texture. Without using a razor, I would have to cut this entire haircut with my scissors and then go back in and texturize, but this is great. So I'm starting in the nape and leaving length at that really low area so it's super wispy, almost a little bit mullety. And then moving above the occipital bone, I'm just working this area really square so that it kind of collapses the shape but leaves little flicks and, pieces, especially on a client who has a little bit of wave to their hair. I'm going to go ahead and work that all the way around. Now, you could make this section longer and create a disconnection. If you wanted it to feel a little bit more like a bob, you could do that too. Now, when I move to the side section, there's a couple ways that we could do this, but I really like to over direct this section straight forward. This is really going to keep that area super soft around the sideburn area. And then you see me just creating a little point there, just so that it's not quite so heavy. As I move up to the next section, I'm actually taking out a little bit of weight internally first, and then I'm working on the exterior. Then we flip and just mirror it on the opposite side of the head. Super, super simple. The longer the strokes, the lighter and wispier this is going to be. If you keep your strokes really tight, then it is going to be a little bit more solid, closer to what it might look like if you cut this haircut with a scissor. There you see me using just the very tip of the razor to remove a little bit of weight and density and create some texture on the outline. So soft. I love all the little wispy pieces on the edge. Then we're going to move to the top of the head, and I'm just taking some thin diagonal back sections. I'm going to go ahead and measure and decide how long I want this fringe to be, keeping in mind that this is going to be really light and airy. So without the weight and length here, this fringe is going to jump up and have a lot of volume. So I am working it below the eye, just so that it can really wisp back, almost like a curtain bang, if you think of it that way. Then we're going to go ahead and just continue taking those diagonal back sections. You can go ahead and slide right internally here just to remove weight. Again, create wispy, soft texture, which is great. And then we're going to come through and go ahead and cut off our outline. I'm working short to long so that that short hair helps to push those corners and create little flips out away from the sides of the face. On the opposite side of the head, I'm doing the same thing, and I'm standing kind of in front just to help the over direction forward feel a little bit more, just a little bit more natural. You could also lift this up and layer it if you want to. I find that a square layer works really well if you're looking for a lot of texture on the top of the head. Love all the little corners, and then just creating some little points and petals here just to help with, again, a little bit of movement, and then that client could really style those pieces out if they wanted to. In the back, we're working this internally, keeping that top just a little bit longer. And again, this whole top section could fall over everything in the nape area if you wanted. This could be a completely disconnected haircut if you choose. Here, I'm just connecting that fringe to the top length, just to make sure that we don't have any like stray, completely random pieces. So it's connected, but not connected. And there you have it. Cute little Bixie Pixie.